What if prosperity wasn't about doing more, but about living with peace, purpose, and faith? Today's episode is all about that. Are you guys ready to get into it? Let's go.
Here we go! Nicole Johnson, Nicole Johnson, Nicole Johnson, let's go!
And welcome to another episode of Prosperity Conversations. I am your host, the Nicole Johnson. And today's guest is going to tell you that you don't have to choose between achievement and peace, and that true prosperity lives where the two meet. Joining me today is Connie Cotter. Connie helps people move off of autopilot. Come on now, autopilot might not be so bad sometimes, but when you get stuck there, you need some help. And she helps you move into lives rooted in clarity, intention, faith, and fulfillment. You guys clap it up and welcome Connie to the stage. Hello, Connie.
Hello. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we are excited to have you here, Connie, on the Prosperity Conversations. And one of the things that I do ask the guests, I ask a couple of questions throughout this process. But sometimes I do ask them to share with us why you said yes to being a part of the Prosperity Conversation.
Oh, that's so great question. I will try and keep it brief because there's so many reasons. First of all, I was just attracted to your personality. But like you said, it's so awesome. Okay, prosperity conversations. And as you said in the introduction, prosperity often gets tied to money or outward success. And through my own story and the people that I help, I've been able to be far more prosperous when I connect with myself and not be relying on the external validation of what success and prosperity means.
Okay. And so that's why you said yes?
Yes, ma'am, because I wanted to share and I want to hear other people what their ideas of growing and living with prosperity means.
We love it. We love it. We love it. So usually what I do is jump right into the first real question is,
okay,
what does prosperity mean to you? And give us your perspective on how it's impacted your life.
Prosperity to me means living with a purpose, living in peace and joy. I call myself a faith-forward, joy-driven transformation coach because we only get this one life. And so why not live it in peace and with a purpose? Because I believe we've all been given a purpose. And it's not always about having more. It's connecting to that voice, that drive inside, and then living with intention and taking steps to be in that space every day as best we can.
I love it. I love it. And how has that perspective impacted you and your life?
Well, I went many years. I called it, I'm in my second childhood. So I started over at 50. So now I'm 8.
Hello. Don't y'all play with Connie?
Yes. So I'm doing things a little more different this second half. And prior to that, I was really floating through life. And I had a great husband. I still do. He's amazing. Kids who were normal kids. I was successful through my career, and yet something was missing, but I didn't know what it was. And working with my own high performance coach that I just kind of stumbled into, which totally changed my life, I've learned how to connect internally And a lot of people, experienced a lot of hardship. And I don't want to diminish anything that anybody went through during COVID. And as we continue to today, but I was in this space of connecting with me during COVID. And it was one of the absolute best life-changing years for me.
You know what? And sometimes there's nothing wrong with that. I think what happens is as women, and like you said, your wife, your mom, we have these other titles that are placed upon us, whether it's through work affiliation, relationships, or what have you. I say we're wearing our many hats. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we forget to take care of and prioritize ourselves. And so when we come into that awakening, right, that activation where something says, this just can't be life. It's that autopilot phase, that what you would call it. There turns on something where there's magic in starting over,
Yeah,
right? It's like a become.
100%.
There's a becoming. And so when you reach that point and you start to look at life differently, right? As you said, COVID was happening, everybody else was going in all the different direction, and Connie was just feeling herself, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. So Connie, when you came to yourself, it's a song that says she came to herself, Albertina. They know what that is. That's that old gospel song. She came to herself, Albertina. What prompted you to want to help others do the same thing?
When I shared this with people, and I have my Facebook group is called Beyond the Good Life, and I put good in quotation marks. Because as I explained to people, all of a sudden they were just like, you've got this new energy. You seem to be, I've always been a really happy person. And yet before it was kind of forced. And I think one of the things that I happened now, and I'm in my second half, is I'm a lot more playful. And when I explain to people my good life and moving beyond that, and like you said, that autopilot, there's another word that you call it the comfort space. And there's nothing wrong with that, really, because that's that space you go back to recharge and renew. But there's something within us that I learned also through my own journey and through my training, that our bodies are wired to live a charged life, one that is moving forward, one that is striving, if you think about, like, if you're working to achieve something, it's way more fun in that process than it is to just stay at the same every day. And you don't have to like flip the switch and go all in charging in your relationships, your finance, your job, your parenting skill, like all of that fitness. It's just a couple. But as you tap into those different things and then they all start weaving together, it's exhilarating to live.
I agree. It is absolutely. Not too long ago, probably last year, or earlier this year, I was cleaning a microwave. And I had been shedding some things. I had been shedding some people. I'd shed some processes, some things that were no longer serving me. And in part of that, as I was cleaning the microwave, and it was like, I'm having my own becoming. This is amazing. And so it dealt with one specific area of my life. Well, once I made the shift in that area, then I started looking at other areas. So if you take that first step, if you do that first thing, you can always look and adjust in other areas. Would you agree?
100%. Yeah. It's, and it's a lot of this came to me in hindsight. Like when I looked back, it's not, I didn't know what to do. Like I said, my life was good. My life was really good. but there was just that niggling. And it wasn't all of a sudden one day, oh my gosh, I have clarity. This is what I want to do, or oh, my life is great. But it was just little things that kind of added up over time. And then all of a sudden one day I was like, my life is amazing, like really amazing. And I've heard people online, you see people who talk about how life is fulfilling. And I'm like, really? Does that happen really to people? And I'm like, yes, it does. If you're intentional, you can make it happen.
Yes, yes. You know what? And that's 100% true. Um, and it may not be perfect in all areas, right? It might be, I have this feeling, this emotion in one space. And once you get it there and you master it there, then you begin to look, okay, well, how can I apply it here? And how can I apply it here? So let me ask you this. When you gain clarity, how does that clarity begin to replace pressure in your life?
Clarity is really everything for me now.
Mhm.
And even like my daily habits, morning routine, and how I set up my day. I use a full focus planner. I look at my day. I have a nighttime routine of things that I do before I go to bed, not just brushing my teeth, but and those are like the bookends, and they give me that clarity, and I set intention throughout the day. And like you said, it's not about perfection, because I am not perfect by any means. But there's
Right.
some days, maybe I sleep a little late, or I have an early appointment, so I don't get to do all of my morning routine. Or there's an event and I don't get to do all of my evening things. Or I just get so into some work and I forget to recharge throughout the day. And if I do that too often, I start to feel that pressure, like I'm not getting enough done, I'm behind, why are things not making any sense? And then it's like, oh, those pieces that ground me, my clarity pieces, are not in place or consistent. And what works for me won't likely work for you or anybody else that listens or watches this podcast, but it's finding those little things that are for me, create the foundation. And when I practice those on a regular basis, I know what to expect in my day. I know how to adjust, because I could have this beautiful day planned out, and by 9 o'clock, something comes in and it throws a wrench in it. So I'm like, I know how to adapt. I know which things I can let go of or move. So yeah, it's again, it's connecting with me. What makes sense to me definitely doesn't work for my husband.
Oh, listen, men and women are so different. And
Mm-hmm.
just as you were speaking, I heard two things. One, I have a coach whose famous line is, the clarity comes in doing. So just do it, right? When you
100%.
do it, you will gain that clarity. But there's a song by Mary Mary, and the line goes something like, I'm paraphrasing. She was like, things kept going wrong. And then she had to realize, maybe I just forgot to pray. And so to recenter herself, she had to stop and do what she always does. She prays first. She prays before she moves. She prays before she goes. So and that has happened to me. I have literally come into to my office and stuff was out of place. It was not how I left it, and I know how I left it. I'm like, who is that? Before it's they like, Nicole, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Why are you screaming? Because somebody has been in my space. And then I went to the copy machine, and then I went here, and everywhere I went, it was something wrong. I went back to that copy machine. I leaned on it. I said, oh Lord, wait a minute now. Let me pray right here, right now. And it was at that moment, things that the rest of the day shifted. It was better. Those little bitty things, I wasn't aggravated anymore. So when we create a routine, right?
Mm-hmm.
it brings in consistent behavior and results. So I'm going to ask you, what are some systems that are important for peace for you, not just productivity?
Peace for me, definitely. Since we moved to Louisiana 5 years ago, I'm originally a Minnesota, Wisconsin native, and a walk outside. I get outside pretty much every single day. There's a couple of days it gets rainy and I might not, but I'll go stand on my back porch. And it's a walk. It's not listening to a podcast. It's not listening to the radio. It's not.
Well,
talking
wait a
on the
minute now.
phone.
You're not listening to a podcast? What? Connie, hold up. I'm just kidding.
Not when I'm walking. At least I'm on my noon lunch, not on my noon walk. Sometimes I'll take an evening walk. But
Absolutely.
it's the again, going back to, I just keep referring to, I'm 8 years old, my second go around. We've got a neighbor who has chickens. And if you watch a running chicken, it's
Okay,
hilarious.
time out. I'm born and raised in Chicago. The only chicken I find is deep fried. Okay, it is deep fried.
You can find watching a running chicken, because they walk, they jut their head when they're walking, but then when they run, it's just out. And then when they're going to slow down, it gets really, really fast. And we have turtles that live in the ditches. And so for me, these little connections to this beautiful place that I live grounds me again before I start my afternoon. And sometimes it's just, I just need to go outside. Had enough. And like you said, just taking that moment to pause and pray. Praying is a very important part. It helps get me grounded, because my brain and my skull, it's this container, and all the thoughts just go round and round and round and round and round inside the container. If I need clarity, I need to say some things, and then all the words come out and I can move them around. They make more sense. And so that connection of, please help me understand this, guide me where I'm supposed to go, that helps. It really, really does.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. When we were in our virtual green room before we came on, I was saying sometimes you just be thankful to go outside and breathe. So it really is about a change of. It can be about a change of scenery.
Yep.
In the summertime, when I work in the office, one of the things I have an issue with is that they keep the temperature on Alaska. Okay. And it's entirely too much. So I'll send my supervisor a message, say, hey, I'm going outside to thaw out.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because it's way too cold inside the office. And so sometimes just getting outside, feeling that sun on my face, it kind of just, whatever was going on before I came outside kind of washes that away. So
Yeah.
it is definitely a thing. So Connie, talk to us a little bit about how you help others, let's say, achieve that second childhood that you seem to be having so much fun in.
I am having so much fun. And yeah, so my Facebook is right there. I'm also, you can find me on LinkedIn and Instagram. And it starts with a conversation. I don't expect anybody to have any answers. When I walked into this whole process for myself, I was just like, I don't know where to begin. And my first coach said to me, all of the answers that you seek and all of the peace that you want lies within. It's just all of the external, all of the messages that we get from social, from television. You got to be this, you got to look like that, you got to say these, all of this stuff. It's a lot of noise. Mm-hmm. And so it just starts with a conversation. So send me a DM. We can chat on the phone or through Zoom or just through DM. And I just want to get to know you. And you just start slowly peeling away and remembering. You take this little bit of time for yourself. What did make me happy? What, and I want to caveat a little bit, what made me happy 20 years ago isn't the same as what makes me happy now. So it's not necessarily about going back and bringing that forward. It's connecting with the feelings, the emotions, maybe some people you haven't connected with in a while. And then I call it reigniting that passion. And things change in the different seasons of your life. My kids are grown now. So it's just me and my husband and my little Maggie May, my kitty. And it's completely different than when the kids were in school. And that's awesome. So wherever you are in this journey of life, changing your career, empty nesting, and prosperity with finances, as people are approaching retirement, I have a lot of financial planners who can help them know what to have the dollars, but what do you do with your time? How do you wake up looking forward to something, live your day with intention and purpose, hanging out, volunteering, whatever it happens to be. And then as you lay your head down on the pillow at night, it's like, oh, I had an awesome day. And so we start with a conversation, and that's what I do. That's how I guide people.
I love that. And because, as I said, there is magic in starting over, because you're not starting from scratch. You're starting with the lesson that you learned from what you're starting over for. And it sounds like you're creating a space very similar to me, where I'm letting the audience know, especially women, that there are men in my space. My message is for men and women. My target is women. And I let them know that they don't have to do this alone. Because we, as women, are emotional, right? Don't be talking about me like that. We're emotional. We tend to do all the things that our emotions cause us to do. We won't be signifying and calling anything out in particular, but what are our emotional reactions?
Yep.
And sometimes those can take us really off track or have us retreat inside. And so an environment where there is no judgment at all. You're free to be yourself, whatever that looks like. The messy parts, the ugly parts, the fearful parts, all of those things, because that's what makes us who we are. And
100%.
so I love the fact that you start very simple. It's a conversation. You can tell as much or as little as you want. And just know that as you begin to say more, then we can get further on your journey. So I love that. And Connie, I am so glad that you did answer the call to be a part of the prosperity conversations. And I am looking forward to what we may be able to do in the future. Because what I do as I close out and tell all of our guests, prosperity is not something that you chase. It is definitely something that you choose. And this has been another episode of Prosperity Conversations. You guys, thank Connie for being here with us. And as always, I am your host, the Nicole Johnson. Until next time, bye everyone.
Bye.
All